And welcome back. Our next guest says that music saved his life. And before you think that's too cliche to be true, you'll want to hear his story. After 3 tours in the Army, Matt Williams received a Purple Heart, saw close friends lose their lives. But the hard news wasn't done after he returned home to the States. Matt, welcome to the West Michigan Soundstage. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your service.
You're very welcome.
Now, I alluded to what happened when you came back from your 3rd tour.
Yes.
And what you saw with close friends and an IED. We'll get to that in a second. But when you came home, then you had horrible news with your father.
I did. You know, I came home June 15th, and then July 4th, my father passed away from just a random heart attack.
Yeah.
So on all days, man, July 4th.
Absolutely. So you to lose close friends in Afghanistan, come home to that news, I'm sure you were at an all-time low just personally.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rock bottom, man. Okay. I couldn't go any lower.
And so but they say music can save your life. How true is that for you?
You know, it really did for me. I couldn't talk to people. You know, I couldn't tell them about everything that happened. So I would put it in the form of a song, and I would sing it, and, you know, started putting it on Facebook and telling my story to people on Facebook, and then grew a fan base of, you know, 1 million people now. Mm-hmm. And it just became easier to deal with. It's not that you ever forget it or get over it, but you learn to deal with it. You learn to accept it.
It was your coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
There you go. And we're seeing some pictures of you there in your uniform, and then of course you and the guitar. Music always been a part of your life?
Yes.
Okay. You grew up singing in church with your family?
Man, I'm born with it. You know, my grandfather sang. He was a preacher. I sang in church all the time, sang in the church choir. And then me and my grandfather, just on a daily basis, would walk around singing, you know, just random things.
Anything.
Anything. You know, my granddad's favorite thing was like, Scooby-Doo. You know, I'm like, what are you even doing, man?
So you've got music in your blood.
Yes.
You had this moment in your life where things were really at rock bottom, and music and faith brought you up. So
Absolutely.
you were able to put together, you know, how many songs? You've got an EP, you've got...
We got 1 full-length album out. Well, we got 2 full-length albums. We got like 5 or 6 singles, and then we put an EP out, and then we're getting ready to start a new EP coming up in January.
Okay, and really, you talk about lyrics. I mean, country music is known for great lyrics anyway. Country music really is storytelling.
It is. It is.
And so tell us about the story behind the single you'll sing for us today.
You know, today is, I wrote it with a buddy of mine out of Atlanta. It's called Postcard Memories. And he had the idea when we were sitting down to write a song. You know, usually you get in a room and they're like, what do you want to write about? I don't know. Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, he scrolled through and I happened to see this Postcard Memories and I was like, stop. I was like, that's what we're going to do. So, you know, my buddy Daniel and I, we sat down and we came up with this song, you know, about, as musicians, you know, we both have kids. You know, I have a son and a daughter, so growing up with mama at home, daddy's out on the road. But it's talking about, even though the father was gone all the time, you know, he still included his children by sending them postcards everywhere he went. So it's like the kids got to visit that place too. You know, he didn't just leave them out, and so that's how we came up with it.
And for someone who's lost his father, and I've lost mine as well, boy, this song hits. It is going to pull at your heartstrings.
It is, you know, and it's a great storytelling song, you know, and it is. There's truth to it. You know, I try to keep my songs truthful. There's truth to this song. You know, I buy my kids things from everywhere I go, whether it be keychains or something, and you know, that's what we do. So. Well,
without any further ado, let's hear Postcard Memories.
All right.
Here you go.
Growing up with mama at home and daddy playing out on the road, all the red thumbtacks on a map hanging on my wall. He called me every afternoon to tell me, boy, I'm thinking about you. I'm sending something your way, it'll be there soon. I knew the mailman ran at 4:45. Couldn't wait to open that rusty mailbox and see where I'm going this time. I've seen the shores of California, the sands of New Mexico. Those 1,000 lakes were beautiful. I'm so glad I got to go. That Grand Canyon sure was something. I got to drive through a redwood tree, and that ain't bad for a boy from Georgia. I guess I'm lucky I got to be sitting on a bus right beside him, thanks to these postcard memories. They just just keep rolling in. Filled another shoebox underneath my bed. If I pin them up on my wall, I'll never see where I've been. I've seen the shores of California, the sands of New Mexico. Those 1,000 lakes were beautiful. I'm so glad I got to go. That Grand Canyon sure was something. I got to drive through a redwood tree, and that ain't bad for a boy from Georgia. I guess I'm lucky I got to be sitting on a bus right beside him, thanks to these postcard memories. There's a lot more red on that map than there is blue. Daddy, I can't thank you enough for taking me with you to see the shores of California, the sands in New Mexico. The 1,000 lakes were beautiful. I'm so glad I got to go. That Grand Canyon sure was something. I got to drive through a redwood tree, and that ain't bad for a boy from Georgia. I guess I'm lucky I got to be sitting on a bus right beside him, thanks to these. Sitting on a bus right beside you, thanks to these postcard memories. Postcard memories.
Nicely done. Matt
Thank you.
Williams, everybody, combat veteran, country artist, Purple Heart recipient. You want to hear more of his story? Go to mattwilliamsofficial.com. We'll be right back.